Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are joined today by Jody, who's the founder of TaylorMade Coaching, and Charl, who's the head of marketing for 226 South Africa. We're going to be unpacking nutrition, coaching, and all the myths and myriad of questions that lie in between. Jens, thanks for coming through. Good to have you here.
Cheers.
Welcome. First question, it's becoming a habit. How was the coffee?
Great.
Take it really seriously.
Nothing beats a flat white in the morning, honestly.
Okay, good. Tick the box.
Personality starter.
Yep.
Good. Glad to hear it. Okay, before we dive into the topics and the myriad of questions and unlock all the keyboard warriors that will be sitting waiting at their desks on YouTube, Jody, will you give us just a bit of background, how you came around to TaylorMade Coaching, a bit of history, so we can frame the opinions you're about to give us?
Funny enough, COVID was a good thing. I think everyone got into exercising, everyone got into training, and from there, and just a passion that I've got for helping runners, helping athletes just become better. I think there's such a demand for it nowadays. Everyone's living a healthier life. We're seeing a lot more communities pop up, running communities, and for me to help somebody become a better runner or better individual, it was something that resonated with me. And by seeing somebody run their first marathon, seeing somebody, tackle their first ultra marathon, for me was a huge passion. And I've seen a lot of it transpire over such a short space of time, and hopefully something that will continue for a long time to come.
Awesome. That's great. Charl?
Yeah, so I got called in by Kyle to kind of head up marketing for 226s back in Jan, and it was an exciting thing for me to get on board with, and it was kind of the direction in which I was going, is more in the fitness industry. So hopped on with Carl, and with all of his help and his kind of leadership skills, was able to produce incredible work and putting the brand in front of people's faces.
I almost didn't believe you when you said it's been
6 months.
I mean, that's hard to believe.
Yeah, it's 18th of January.
I was on a gravel ride, which I mentioned to you guys earlier, George back to Cape Town, and everyone, the bottle sits in the bike, you take it out. Great piece of marketing, the bottle. And like, what is that 226 stuff? I see it everywhere. Everyone on that ride was just like, everywhere I look, I'm seeing it. So whether that's a good or a bad thing, I would imagine good.
We've tried.
Hell of a job.
Thank you. Yeah, we've done well. And also I think it's putting the brand in front of the right people, and I think putting something up market and quality in front of people at the moment is what everybody's looking for.
I think it's a good place to start. Nutrition. I mean, there is anyone that gets involved in whatever it is. I mean, running's obviously your speciality and your passion. Personally, cycling has been my sort of main focal area, but running is certainly a thing I'm flirting with. You talk about your first marathon. There's a list of questions coming there.
So you're talking about your first marathon. Yeah, love it.
It's you almost always land up at. I joked that I said to my wife, I'm using the OG Nutrition game in Oros. It was like, I had nothing left in the house. I just happened to me, and I was like, went to use it, and it was unbelievable the difference. And everyone kind of starts on the same thing. It's like you take what your bike shop recommends, or your mate, or whatever, what's in the cupboard, and it's like, I just want some sugar or something to help in the ride. And that very quickly progresses to, I need a fuel for a result, for time, for... So Jody, maybe a question for you. As far as nutrition goes and working with an athlete, how important is it?
Huge. I mean, we've heard the saying that your car can't run on water, or Oros and water. So I think for me, it's not only race day or training day, it's the days leading up to it. And nutrition, we've seen so much, like you say, on the market, but we've just seen athletes, it's a difference between doing well or enjoying a race and not. And I think once you can get that nutrition right, that's where athletes start enjoying their races, and that's where we start seeing the results coming.
So as a percentage contributor to your capability and your results, because I think those are two different things. Like the ability you can build through training and fueling properly in that. And then on the day, what that can allow you to do. I mean, could you hazard a guess? I think I would guess it's 20-30% of the results difference between using it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I would even say more. You know, you look at the build-up to a race. If you're not feeling right, you're not getting to the race in peak performance. Also, then when you get to a race, you're going out too hard. You're not having the right fuel to get you to the end of the race. And then again, I think for your weekend warrior, you know, if they're not fueling properly on a race, they're not enjoying the experience. You know, so then they don't want to come back to the sport because they haven't enjoyed that run or they haven't enjoyed that cycle. And I think just having good nutrition on a race day just opens your eyes to what that sport's all about.
And so, and that's a good point. Weekend warrior, elite athletes. There's a lot of misperceptions around.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not running a 4-minute kilometer or whatever. You know, I think anything below 6 is fast. You know, I don't need that. Is that something from a brand point of view? 226 is trying to tackle, is trying to help people understand. Is that something you're seeing in the comments?
So I think when it comes to our the people that we kind of endorse and the people that we are helping fuel, it's more your everyday athletes instead of your elite athletes. You know, everybody can look at the elite athletes using our products and just be like, it's just for the elites. Their stomachs can handle it. You know, where we actually the most gut-friendly gel on the market, for example. You know, so I think it's for the everyday person. I think if you want your running to improve, or just the fact of just being healthy and just taking care of your body, our gels work. Our nutrition works. So from a brand point of view, it's for everybody. Gym, running, cycling, every single facet of fitness. We're able to
It's interesting that the focal point is intentionally not on the absolute elite athletes. I know there are, especially 226s globally, particularly in the triathlon space. I think that's like a really strong area for them.
Yeah, that's where we started. Yeah, that's where we started. Yeah, that's where the name comes from, is 226 kilometers in the full Ironman. So it's where it's originated for. Yeah.
Should have started with that.
Yeah.
And then back to you, Jody, from a weekend warrior and a elite trainer point of view, you know, someone watching this, a weekend warrior, hoping to gain something from it. I mean, from a nutrition level point of view, I mean, what should they take away? You know, a lot of them haven't heard from a coach before, haven't been guided. Like, what's the one piece of advice that you would give them? Like, don't stress it too much. Mix some sugar in your water, you'll be fine. Or
well, it's definitely not too much sugar. But and I think, no disrespect to the weekend warrior, we can't all win a marathon, we can't all win a race. And I think there's a big part of the weekend warrior that's so important. You know, because everyone's sort of goal is different. All three of us sitting here, we've got such different goals, and we can all fuel the right way or the same way. And I think too many people overcomplicate nutrition. And I think Google is a terrible thing. They go and look what I should be taking per hour, per minute, per race. And I think that overcomplicating things is what is the biggest downfall in a lot of athletes. I think just understanding A, your body, but B, what products are out there. And again, I think what 226s does so well is there's a product for everyone. There's a gel if you enjoy gels, but then there's also, you know, in liquid form if that's what you prefer. And I think understanding that as a weekend warrior, you'll only enjoy the sport more by fueling correctly. And it's not only on race day, it's pre-race and post-race, which is just as important.
Can you give me a typical example of how a weekend warrior would overcomplicate a race? So my typical, and I think I'll tell you what I normally do for my sins. It's Grok or Google was a starting point. I've been coached by Reese McDonald from Science to Sports, and he gave me a lot better advice. But now with running, it's Google. What should I be fueling? You know, cycling, you work on grams per hour. Teddy's using like 150. So if I get 100, I'm like, literally that's how my brain works. Like if I was like somewhere around 100, I'll be okay. Running 100 for like 4 hours, gut's completely destroyed, can't handle it. Like that's been my experience. Is that a good example of overcomplicating it, trying to work it out per hour?
100%. At the end of the day, and you look at it, and I know we keep on going back to weekend warriors, but even sort of semi-elite athletes, like we're there to enjoy this. And if you're overcomplicating it by just looking at your nutrition, you're not doing the sport for the right reasons. And I think, again, we keep on mentioning the variety that 226s have got, but having the product, one gel, 40 to 60 grams per hour is all you need, where there are other products on the market that you've got to carry 4 or 5 per hour. And if you're not having seconds along the way, you're literally taking a backpack to try and get your nutrition in for a marathon if you're running 4 to 5 hours. So the products, and when I say don't overcomplicate it, is take what your body needs, no more and definitely no less.
And where's a good place to start to find out what my body needs?
On the 226 website. No, jokes aside, but I think it just knowing if you're running an hour run, you don't need too much nutrition. And I think going to do a weekend park run, 5Ks, you don't need to have nutrition. We're understanding that after the run, you do need nutrition. And I think that's what's understanding why you take something before a run, why you take something during a run, and why you would take something post-run.
It's a very good point. So I don't think a lot of people think about nutrition as 5K. I mean, I'm pretty sure I fueled for a 5K once.
And again, not saying that that's wrong, but it's your body doesn't necessarily need it on the 5Ks.
But the post is obviously really important. And what are we talking about there? Protein shakes, recovery shakes?
The recovery. Yeah, the recovery shake is insane when it comes to just post-run or post-workouts. Every single facet. If it's gym, running, cycling, whatever. It's quick recovery.
Is there ever an example where you don't need or shouldn't take a recovery drink afterwards? I cycle almost every day of the week, and I'm terrible at having any sort of recovery drink afterwards. Maybe electrolytes. That's it. What am I leaving on the table?
I think it's just adding back to your body. It's you don't want to go through muscle atrophy. So I think just that muscle repair and trying to refuel so that the next day you're not hurting.
And as simple as a recovery shake. I mean, it's actually sitting right behind you.
Literally,
I've done those things for a week on that gravel.
They are dangerous, eh?
They're tasty.
They're tasty.
I will say that. That's not a paid placement. I don't get any money from the to say this. I rode that tour with people that are levels above me. They're capable of winning races. Chloe Bishop is a prolific runner, and she's also one-seeder, podiums pretty much anything else she does. Tony Lotta won Sedgefield 500. And then there's me. We joked about this Palmares on the trip. And they were bar wanting it and like just winging the nutrition thing. And I had my message to Carl, this is what I'm doing. These are the distances. And it's just like box arrives. I don't know if that's we can maybe talk about that as but how effortless it was for me to think about it. Just, this is what I'm doing. I don't even want to begin to know. And it's like, box arrives. It's like this in the morning, put this in your bottles, have one of these when you feel shit, have these at the end of the day. Just do that. And I swear to God, on that, Tony, on that trip, there were days where I felt better and, rode. There was a definitive difference, I believe, in what I was capable of doing. And that had nothing to do with my preparation leading into that was diabolically crap. There was nothing done properly. And I honestly feel like it was that step change. I'm convinced it's the recovery. Yes, they were mixing some brandies later in the evening, but the first thing that mentioned was the recovery.
But that's also what happens on a multi-stage race. The fuel that you're taking today is going to help you tomorrow and the next day. And I think that's what a lot of athletes forget, is that I need to take something for now, my race today. I've seen a lot of athletes that fuel correctly, their recovery time is just so much shorter. So if they've fueled right in the training, the next day things are so much easier to get back because they've fueled well in the training. Their post-race recovery is even quicker. And that's what you want. You want to be able to train as an athlete at your optimal state every time. And fueling, it's not only what your watch is telling you, but it's what your body's going to do the next day. And that's where the post-race is as important as the
misperception. You always think, I think when I'm fueling for now, but it's not. Actually fueling today for tomorrow and for the intervals on 100%. Thursday and the hill training on Saturday. And so that's a big misperception. While we're on the topic of nutrition, I've seen Peloton banter. You can talk a lot more when you cycle because it's a lot easier. And guys are mixing their own stuff. The YouTube videos are making their rounds. It's like, it's a waste of money. You can just go and buy maltodextrin. You can mix it yourself. Now, I have no formal opinion on this other than it sounds like a really bad idea. What are your views on that? What have you seen? Have you tried to mix your own? What are some of the pitfalls that may lie there?
Leave it to the professionals. And I think that's where the danger comes in. That's where gut issues come in, because you've tried to take this combination, and that's why there are products on the market to do it for you, but to do it smartly. You can't put these mixtures together and hope to get a good result at the end of the day. So personally, I would strongly recommend against it if you don't know what you're doing. And this might work. I mean, I've heard some horrific stories about popping a Disprin and a Red Bull, and guys are almost having heart attacks, but they got up the climb first, and that's what they want. And Like it's to me, it sounds silly. And as a coach, I definitely wouldn't endorse it. Your body can take a hammering if you don't know what you're doing.
So pretty much from a little bit more of like a deeper kind of aspect into that is you have maltodextrin and cyclodextrin. The reason why we've kind of done the two compounds is we can only consume 100 grams of maltodextrin and 100 grams of cyclodextrin an hour. Okay, so it's either 100 grams of one, 100 grams of the other, but you can layer them. So if you needed more carbs, you can now layer cyclodextrin and maltodextrin to kind of get more carbs in per hour. But for your everyday runner, it's going that deep is it's not necessary. It's really not necessary. If you're going to your elite athletes, say for example, Jamie Riddle, for example, he's using 750 grams of carbs per day. So he's consuming a lot of carbs, but he's also trained his gut to consume that amount of carbs. So I think for your everyday runner, just keeping it simple, is I think we've got the highest carb gel on the market at 55 grams of carbs in our gel, and that's going to be for your everyday runner. It's going to be perfect for your 45 minutes to an hour. You're not going to carry around 5 gels and then you're going to spend the whole hour eating.
And that's that don't overthink it thing. Like you can have a gel packed with everything you need. And that's so, and this is, I'm going to ask you for your unbiased opinion, but are there other products that have that kind of composition that you can take one gel and it's going to do as much? Is 226 is truly the only one that has that really unique content in that one gel.
I think
anything comparable.
There's I'm not gonna name them, but there are 2 other brands that come very close to us, but we still the creme de la creme. It's the difference between Mercedes-Benz and a Rolls-Royce.
Got you.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, so I was, again, pre-banter before we sat down and hit roll on the cameras. We spoke about the contents of gel. So again, Peloton banter, running group banter. People talk about, there's these comments thrown out like, they've all got the same thing in them. It's all made up of the same thing. I look on the back at sodium, it's maltodextrin. Why spend, 90 Rand versus 60 Rand, whatever the multiples are. And personally, I subscribe to, I've looked into it. I've spoken to Carl at length. And with previous brands that I've used, Precision I've mentioned. And there's always this and someone said to me once upon a time, Morton had this delivery agent and that's what made it unique. And I bought into that. I believed it. I didn't necessarily go and research it, but it stands to reason. There's actual scientists that sit behind these brands. It's not just a marketing company that says that they're scientists and wears a lab coat. Now you guys spoke about what a lot of gels in the market are actually made up of. I'm not going to do the spoiler alert, but what are some of the things you don't necessarily want in your gels, and what should people look out for? What should they be aware of in their everyday gel they might be consuming?
I think it's going to be the sugar content. In a sense, sugar is also a carb, so it's an easy way to market it. Is that we've got 50 grams of carbs, but 45% of that is actually sugar. So trying to find something like our high fructose range. It's obviously fructose is being sugar, but it's I think it's 25% sugar.
Okay.
The rest is clean potato starch.
And is there a reference point your everyday person can look at on the back that'll tell them the sugar percentage? So what should they be looking for?
It would literally be the saturated sugars and saturated. Yeah. So pretty much just check out the sugar content at the back. Just read.
And you want the saturated sugars
low,
as low as possible. And what do you want to be high?
Your carbohydrates.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
because your body's just going to pretty much carbs is energy. Okay, carbs is fuel, and if as much as sugar is fuel, it's a match versus a candle.
Good analogy.
Yeah, that's literally what it is.
Have you seen, Jody, have you worked with an athlete that's gone from the matches to the candle? And have you got some anecdotal feedback on what that looks like?
I think, athletes and we said it earlier, they want convenience. So when you see athletes standing on the start line, taking, these sugary gels, and you just think, well, I'll see you in half an hour, when you're taking another one and you've completely bonked out or halfway through the race. And I think, again, it's going back to knowing your body. If you're running 2 hours, you might get through it. But if you're running 4 hour or an 8 hour, you need something that's going to prolong that energy. And I think by having that high sugar content early on in the race, you're setting yourself up for disaster.
I would imagine the percentage of people standing on that start line with a sugar-packed gel, it's probably 99% awareness, education. People just don't know. And a lot of the time there's a nice big stand there and there's a mound of them, and you just grip them and take them, and you don't necessarily, I didn't know that the sugar content was that high. What's the highest percentage you've seen?
I think, not naming, but I think it was like close on to 75% of it was sugar. Yeah.
That's just going to like completely, you can feel amazing.
And and then you're getting 30 grams of carbs in this gel. So imagine what you're actually getting.
Benefit to the brands that are doing that? Is that just a cheaper?
I think it's
the main thing.
Yeah. Our stuff is all has got the doping-free stamp. It's all got the water approval stamp. It's clean. It's healthy. Whereas everything else is just not regulated in a sense, I would say. Or it is, but I think it's looked a little bit down upon. But I think with us, we
regulated with the same intention.
And that's unfortunately where runners or particularly runners get so caught up, is they're taking the cheaper product. And again, not everyone has financial sort of backing to be able to buy the more expensive product. But if you're having to take 10 gels in a race, you're spending the same amount if you're taking four gels. And I think that's where the cheaper product always sells more, because it seems easier on the pocket. But if you know what's going in your body, it's always better to put a better product that may be more expensive, but you're putting quality as opposed to
one of them instead of four.
And you spend so much time as an athlete training and racing, and you want to make sure that you're getting the good performance, or you're putting the right stuff into your body. And I think just understanding what's going in, and again, there's a variety of products on the market, but understanding what goes into your body and what you're going to get out of that, even if it means that it's more expensive, I think that's the benefit for an athlete.
And we've spoken a lot about the weekend warrior. When I say weekend warrior, it's
no disrespect.
These are still people putting in. I consider myself a weekend warrior. I still do a 15-hour week, which to me is a lot of time. As a father, as a business owner, that's very taxing on the schedule. It's not easy to maintain, and it's an elite might be doing 20 or 30. But on the elite end of the spectrum, how are you seeing the same? Are they a lot better informed? Are they already, cognizant of all these things we're talking about, and they've nitpicked and they're all using good nutrition? Or is there still gaps even at that level? Are people not, when you've obviously coached and had exposure to more of them than I do, I'm mates with one or two of them, and they're still telling me, like, they're still unlocking things that they didn't know. So that education thing to me seems like it's really very low, which is weird. Considering like this is such a big thing.
Yeah, and I think it also comes down to the individual. Some athletes are super, super pedantic on what's going in, what they're wearing, like their times. And I think it's that athlete that is more sort of specific to what's going into their body, where you'll have an athlete that is just raw talent. They will take whatever. They could be drinking a cup of water off a aid station and they'll benefit. But I think it's understanding and trying to just educate the athlete to go, this is why you're taking it, not because I'm giving you a product, or not because it's the high product, but this is going to make you come second instead of sixth, or this is understanding why you are putting in what you are.
Those gains are possible, right? If someone that's running on Oros and Game versus premium nutrition, like, you've seen it. It's there, it's real.
It will be very, very rare to have an athlete like that win a race, get a top 3, top 5 with poor to little nutrition. I've seen athletes in the last kilometer smashing a gel, and I'm like, but again, it goes back to they've done so well, they've got to that point where they're feeling good, they then recovering. It's not for today, it's for tomorrow. So post-race, I've taken a gel to make sure that I'm not getting to the finish line, falling over, and then for the next day, 2 days, I'm flat on my back. So I'm taking that nutrition to make sure that tomorrow I'm fine.
And as far as coaching goes, how much of your job coaching is spent educating people on nutrition? Is that a big part of it?
It's important. And I think we spoke about it earlier. It's the preloading phase to go, all right, 36 to 48 hours. This is what you should be taking into your diet. You're getting your electrolytes in so that you get to race day and you're well hydrated. Look, I've heard some athletes that take way too much than they should. And again, if you, not that we all look at our wee, but again, if you're looking at your urine and it's clear, you just urinating electrolytes out, then you've probably gone on to too much electrolytes, but it's the pre-race sort of loading phase. Then it's important on the day. If you've preloaded well, your nutrition is just a top up throughout the race and you're going to perform even better. Like we said, as soon as that race is finished, it's the recovery straight in within a sort of 45-minute time frame. A lot of athletes, and if you've got the access to it, you've crossed the finish line, you're getting your recovery straight in, and literally managers are handing bottles, or seconding teams are handing bottles to get that in. Post-race, again, like I said, the danger of the recovery drink tasting so good, you want to have more of it, but you can never recover too quickly or have too much recovery.
Okay. That's interesting. So there's no such thing as too much recovery. Well, within reason, obviously. I'm going to make 3 or 4.
I think from a nutrition
bulking phase.
From a nutrition point of view, I think you can go overboard. I think it will be good for the guts if you go overboard.
Sure. In terms of a typical training week, using averages now, an elite athlete is training what in a week? 30 hours, give or take?
Yeah. Sport specific,
run
30 to 40 hours a week.
A weekend warrior. I hate to use the term. I need to find a different terminology for them. But someone training for their first 21, their first marathon, as an example. What would they be doing? What sort of 10, 15? Is that?
No, I mean, you would probably do closer to 20 hours a week. Again, and it's quality over quantity. It's having your easy runs. It's having your sort of harder structured runs where it's speed, it's intervals, and then you've still got your long weekend runs. And again, we joked about it earlier, you don't need to have a gel for a 5K, but it's what you're doing after that easy run. And then it's what you're doing for your speed session or your harder intensity session. And then your fueling on the Saturday is exactly what you would, or Sunday, it's exactly what you would do for a race day.
Yeah.
You know, so your longer training runs on the weekend is no different to what you're doing on a race day. And I think that's where a lot of everyday runners, let's call them everyday runners, are different to elite athletes, where they only fuel on a race and they don't understand why a nutrition product doesn't work or why it's too many carbs, because they haven't trained on that. And I think understanding what your body can take. So we talked earlier about athletes taking 700 grams, you know, that's crazy. But if you don't know what your limits are, and that's where weekends are so important, to use a field to try it, to go, well, I only need, 1 gel every 40 minutes. Actually, I can go 60 minutes without needing anything. So
yeah, that's nutrition training and not, just using premium or even any nutrition on the race day, I think is for any discipline, for any level. I think there's a lot of, again, perceptions around that. I do think finances plays a big role in that. It's difficult to fuel premium every day. But I mean, just through us conversing about this, the thought that you can have a single product, like if I think about it now, like 90 Rand, let's call it that, will vary for a single product that has everything in it. Is a lot more reasonable than, because you don't have to have 3, 4, 5 of them and an ad. You just have that single thing towards the end of the ride, perhaps.
We also got another product
it's a lot more manageable.
Yeah, we've got another product coming in now. It's a smaller gel. It's 30 grams of carbs, and it's going to be in the high fructose and the high energy, and that's going to be at the same price point. So same amounts of carbs, same price points as our competitors, and we're looking forward to that. And that's also going to open the brand up to kind of your so-called weekend warriors, where now they can actually put proper fuel into their bodies, So
I think that's what if no one's ever consumed tons of coaching advice or nutrition advice, I think the biggest takeout is less about you should be getting 100 grams an hour and like train your gut. That's like kind of the overarching takeaway from almost anything I watch, where really what it is, the more important thing from listening to what you guys are saying is use nutrition when you're training. Just use nutrition.
Just use nutrition.
That on its own, because most people and anyone that is watching us that, maybe is training and isn't, fueling during the week, like, please God, comment and let us know, because that's my experience. And if I look at the people that I'm riding with in the morning, our Tuesday, Thursday rides are 3 hours, every Tuesday and Thursday. It's seldom I'm seeing someone take a jolt. And I can see the bottles are mostly clear. I'm pretty sure there's not premium nutrition in there. And it's just like, how much are we leaving on the table? Not. And the thought that if I was having just one jolt, that would be, and it doesn't have caffeine. It's not like it's gonna spike me. That could have a performance benefit.
Well,
Net gain is, it's a lot more achievable. And that's the real takeout is, use nutrition while you're training. Could you hazard a guess what sort of, as a percentage, training not using nutrition and only feeding on race day versus training on nutrition, like you could gain X percent?
Yeah.
Like, is it possible to make a guess there?
Know what it is as well? It's just understanding your body. So an easy ride, even if you're going out for 2-3 hours, you could use it and it would help, but you don't necessarily need it. You need it for those high intensities. You need it for the race day.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it becomes important. During training, if you're not taking it, you probably won't push out the splits you were hoping for, but you're definitely going to feel an easier effort. And again, we talk about the post-race recovery, and that's where it's going to help. You might go for a 3-hour easy ride, but you're just drinking water. You're not going to feel so good near the end of the ride or tomorrow for you to train the next day.
Have you seen, or have you picked up in coaching, there's this trend, fad, I don't know, it seems to be sticking around, but the fasters. That's also me included. So serial commit to every fad that's come around. So that I know for myself. I've done carnivore, I've done vegan, and properly, like 6 months, I want to know for myself. Weirdly, all of them work. I think if you just follow anything properly,
100%,
you get a benefit from it. Strangely enough, my winter eating and wine consumption isn't doing anything for my cycling or running. But is that for me, like when I go and ride, if it's an easy ride, I'm like, no, I'd rather go fasted. There's going to be a gain. I don't know what it is. Everyone's like going on about this fasting thing. Any views or perceptions around that?
It's an interesting one because I think we are all so different. And like you say, if you're putting all your efforts into that, you're going to see different benefits. And I think it's quite dangerous jumping onto a different phase. You need to know what's sustainable. What can I do in 2 years' time? Can I still be taking that same jolt in 2 years' time? During a race, should I be going into fasted, but you're going to feel a slump at the end of it? How's your body going to react? And I think it's just whatever training you do, whatever nutrition you use, it's got to be sustainable. You can't be doing fasted today, then tomorrow, you smashing 200 grams of carbs before you go out for a ride. Like, you've got to be consistent in what you're doing with your training. Because also when you get to race day, what are you doing? Are you going in fasted or are you going in with your carbs?
Body calf.
Body calf.
And that's it. We see so many athletes training fasted, but then we see them going in race day and they've woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning to get in all their carbs. But leading up to that, you weren't doing that. So I think the consistency there from an athlete, it just needs to be the same.
Yeah, good point. So are you seeing that? Are you seeing a lot of the fasting coming into your world as a coach and being exposed to people out there?
The internet's a terrible place. And again,
There's just so much out there.
Yeah, and I think that's where we go back to the athlete knowing their body. The winner of a world major is different to, we call us weekend warriors. I think understanding your body, whatever they do is not going to translate into what I do. It will never. And I think it's just knowing your capabilities, knowing what you're putting into your body, and just like I said, just being consistent in how you do it.
You mentioned earlier, the best place to get that information is the website. Let's assume I'm an absolute novice. I'm training for my first 10K. Let's say DM Jody to find out what I need to do during the week to get 10 terms of training. What is the protocol to get the right advice from 2 to 6s? How much are you guys doing in terms of chat to us, we'll tell you what to do? Is that a big part of what the brand's
massive? Absolutely massive. We're trying to position ourselves as a brand that's based on knowledge and not just based on trying to make the most money. So I think that's where the industry is lacking at the moment, is on knowledge. So just to plug it, hello at 226s.co.za, drop us an email and we can definitely, we on our emails constantly.
Regardless of who you are, what you're trying to run.
What you're trying to, just drop an email and so we're busy coming up with like bundles and everything like that, just to kind of, to kind of help the everyday person to be like, okay, you're on our website, but now what do you get? you know? So if you want to do a 21K run, for example, there's going to be a bundle for a 21K, for a ultra, there's going to be for cycling, there's going to be for a whole different, like, multifaceted sports. So we are trying to be a little bit more knowledgeable in that aspect, to be like, okay, it might be a lot or it might not be enough, but it's a good base to work off.
Yeah. Better than Oros.
It's a huge helper. It's knowing that the brand can put that package together for you, and you're not having to go, okay, well, what do I need? How should I take that? There it is. You've got your
I remember the first one I saw. I think it was Wine to Wales or something like that. It was just like how has no one thought this through? I can't tell you anyone else that's packaged it and just said, here's the bundle. There's a number. That'll come through to you. And like you said, maybe too much, maybe too little. But if you don't want to think about it, it is. And the reason I asked the question around, and we'll put the email up at 2 to 6s, a lot of brands, and I know this from working with big brands, their number one objective is to circumvent direct engagement with consumers. It's drive you to some annoying as fuck chatbot that never gives you what you need and making it impossible to use call center agents. Don't email us. Like, how often have you been to a website and it's like, where's the number? Where's the email?
100%.
Where's the contact form? Like, so like, no, don't contact us because they have to employ someone because they're so profit-centric. And knowing, I have a personal relationship with Carl, so I don't just want to extend that out and put his number on the I'd actually love to put his number on the antagonizing, but the fact that the brand is saying email us, we want the inquiries, like, let us tell you what you should be, it's a major USP, and no one's really even talking about. This brand wants to dialogue with you and give you advice.
There's a reason why we say we want to feed your dreams, right? It's I'm a golfer, so for me to go and shoot
condolences,
for me to go and beat last week's score by one shot, I think we always just trying to be better. And if we can be that difference for you, then we will be with you on that journey. And even with regards to our athletes, you look at everybody that we endorse, it's multifaceted. It's from beginner to influencer to elite. It's multifaceted. We're trying to get to everybody,
It's a really interesting point that I would never have thought about a golfer fueling their performance.
We've got golfers that we fuel.
And it's measurable. It's a real thing.
Yeah, we've got golfers, we've got MotoGP, we've got F1, we've got soccer teams. It's rugby. It's every single sport uses our nutrition, basically.
It's amazing. You always look at things through the lenses of the sport that you do, but there's really no one that is excluded. I remember, so our main business is SEO, and we looked at the keyword research around, like, you will not believe it if you look at gels for running. Cycling gels, gels for cycling, and all the associated terminology. Virtually nothing for golf or any other sports, but running is 10 times cycling.
100%.
I couldn't believe. And you get to a running race. I did my Milkwood 21K, first 21 I've ever done. There was like 3,000 people at the start line.
Easy.
What the fuck? 3,000 people.
Yeah.
Like, there's not 3,000 people at any cycle. There's,
Yeah.
if you're lucky, big ones.
Yeah.
There's 80 in your batch, maybe.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is chaos.
Yeah.
Where are we supposed to park? Little baby run, 3,000. It's like, this is amateur. It's quite something. There are so many people. And then you layer in all the other sports. It's a...
Yeah, I mean, for golf, I don't think the golfers are really going to take gels. It's mainly going to be like recovery bars, race day bars, protein bars, recovery shakes, protein shakes, keto protein, that kind of thing. When it comes to your runners, it's going to be like sub-9 race day. It's 87 grams of carbs in a drink mix, same as your riders. It's going to be a fructose drink, gels, maybe a bar if you enjoy chewing, recovery, and maybe some like jellies or gummies, So yeah, I think it's very, we got 80 products across the board. So
80 individual different products.
Yeah.
Heavens.
So we've got a lot. So it's it's used by every single sport pretty much.
That's also where the package and the bundle deals come in. because you can get overwhelmed. But now that you know that the guys have looked after you to go, this is what you need for a race, it's a huge help. It's a huge help for a coach, for an athlete to go, well, what should I be taking? Well, there's a bundle, and let's work it from there.
Yeah.
And as far as sort of pipe dream for the brand locally, is there, I know there's loads of things happening. I don't know how many things you can or can't share with us, but like what's the aspiration?
We've got some big things in the pipeline that I can't exactly share right now, but there's some really exciting things that we're busy working on. But I think from a brand perspective, we want to fuel the everyday person.
Okay.
That's our goal, is we want the everyday person to be using our brand. Not in the aspect of pushing it in their face, like use this, because we want to make money off of you, but we want, it's incredible on your body. It's so clean, it's ridiculously clean, and it's regulated. So
I saw, again, drawing on the cyclist thing, that it's the movie star logo is on. I can see just on the box there. And that's anyone that knows anything about cycling, thank you, gods. It is like the most scrutinized sport maybe ever. I don't think there's anything that has the scrutiny that it does in terms of the testing and consistency that water is actually going to people's houses and it's not like everyone's like, oh, well, I don't take testosterone or EPO. It's like, no, but there's a gajillion things that you're not allowed to have that you just don't know. And there's so many stories about athletes that have had careers like written off. The doctor prescribed something, or they took a product and they had no idea. That for me was, and it's one thing to say that it's clean. It's another thing entirely that it's been scientifically formulated with. I mean, God knows the staff that sits behind those teams in terms of like getting the most out. So that says a lot. Could you expect, 226s globally, is that something they're going to pursue more there's big pro Conti teams and backing that kind of thing?
So with 226s, it's we must be careful what I say over here. We're trying to be a brand where it's not about paying our athletes, but it's about putting nutrition into their mouths. So here's product. We're not worried about anything else. Okay, you don't need to market or anything for us. Just have this product that's going to kind of fuel you in the best way possible. That's pretty much where we're going. Yeah.
So when someone sees an influencer, or when someone sees an athlete, better said, influencers long term to use. When someone sees someone using the product, and they would obviously make it known that they're ambassadors.
There's a reason why they're posting it.
It's not you guys sitting there saying, hey, I want 4 posts a week. Make sure you get the ocean in the background, and I want to see some tricep. And
obviously from a marketing point of view, there are a couple that we have like that, but they also they love the brand and it's all they use.
Okay.
But majority of the people that we are using or that are on board with us, I'm not going to say using, they're supporting, the people that we are supporting are using the product because they love it. The last thing we want to do is someone to go like, I'm using 226s and they're putting something else into their bottle.
Yeah.
That's the last thing we want, and we don't endorse that whatsoever.
Got you. In terms of access, obviously there's this wonderful place in Westlake you can come and get the product.
Yeah.
But in mildly bigger news, you guys have recently engaged with Dis-Chem.
Yeah, so we've signed with Dis-Chem. We're in 16 stores currently, and we're looking to push out to, I think it's another 45 in the next 2 months.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a much smaller range. It's dedicated to your everyday kind of athlete. It's just gels and drink mixes and bars.
Okay.
But all of your more in-depth stuff is on our website and at 226s.co.za. And so.
That's huge for an athlete. I know for like a coach, go and get the product now that you've got it in store. But again, the turnaround time is rapid. I think you've pressed send and you've got a knock on your door. And I think that's convenience. And that's what runners want. That's what athletes want is the turnaround time. And then where can I get the product? And it's one thing using it. Also, you get to the end of the week and shucks, I got a long run on the weekend. I need the product.
all the time.
And no athlete knows what stock they've got, and they're always last minute Larry's trying to get stuff. And I think having that access to it, from a coaching point of view, I know that guys, you're going to get the stuff when you need it. So pop in,
The
going to
stuff
Discam.
we sell is 5:30 in the morning, clipping into their bike, and they can see the stuff because you can see it through the window down here. It's like, oh, fuck.
I need
Quickly go and grab.
Yeah.
And that's the majority of it.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the everyday person, obviously
100%.
the elites are it's packed out.
Yeah.
Different story inside.
I mean, we look at Cape Epic, for example, you know, like 3 of the 3 teams in the top 10 all was part of our brand. You know, so it was Buff Megamo, Clementines Oil Bayer. Oh, it was 4. It was Cannondale and Team Honeycomb, 2 to 6s.
Sure.
Yeah, so 4 of the top 10.
itself.
4 of the top 10 was all 2 to 6s nutrition.
And the runners, have you got some bragging stats there? Don't let the cyclists like you.
Not yet.
We've got Jody Taylor.
Oh,
You know, we've got no. We still making waves in the running scene. We only
6 months.
6
guys.
months.
It's
6
young,
months.
eh?
Very, very, very young. But yeah, we've kind of shaken up the industry a bit. You know, and yeah, we're super excited for.
We spoke at, it's the part I'm most passionate about in terms of what the active behavior stands on, what we try and do here. Although we have, you know, nutrition that you can buy and there's coffees and stuff, it's communities, everything, like everything. We just want the froth after the ride, after the run to be happening down here. Like that's like what we entirely bought into. And amazingly, if you put all those people in the same place and you have a coach that knows a thing or two and you have the nutrition there and you have the people in the same place, magically this thing happens where people educate and uplift and all of a sudden people are hiring their dreams to draw on your guys' catchphrase. Is there, informal or otherwise, plans to try and stir that pot a bit and to, you know, create some initiatives and get some things together? You mentioned that epic solstice run and ride that you guys did. What are some of the community things happening there?
So
to both of you.
Yeah. So I think from a 2 to 6's point of view, if you've got a running club, if you've got a cycling club, get in contact with us. We'll be more than happy to chat about getting on board and, you know, hosting activations with people, you know. So it's just pushing the brand out into the right avenues. And we have got some things in the pipeline that we're busy working on where it's going to be dedicated to 2 to 6's with some collaborations here and there. But yeah, there's going to be some really cool, exciting stuff.
Hopefully one of those are in Westlake.
Yeah, well,
Brag you
pressure.
guys to
No
know.
pressure.
yeah, we've got.
There's this really slick coach up the road from us in Constantia.
No pressure, guys.
Yeah.
But I think that's what it's about. And listening, you know, what Charl was saying about having the contact online and being able to chat. And that's where 2 to 6's is community focused. You know, we can chat to the Charls, we can chat to the Carls. And that's what you want as an athlete or a coach, to find out more. But it's not a marketing ploy. You've seen the running communities have exploded at the moment. And I think that's where runners are looking for something to support a brand that supports them. Look, you're not going to be everyone's favorite, but if you can just manage that authenticity of being a community, of using a product because they support you, I think that's the biggest support you can have. And it's not about the big sing and dance and massive activations, but it's about the brand being so engaging that they're there for the runner, for the cyclist, and not
Being
because
my
it's a marketing.
community.
Yeah, and backing each other. And that's where we've seen the sort of running and cycling communities take off.
Awesome. Guys, I can't think of too much more to cover. I've run through all my list. I feel like I've gained the most out of this whole thing.
Amazing.
To be fitter and better and have some dreams fed in the next little while. I've got ridiculous stuff coming up. I can't even think how to fuel for, so be picking your brains.
No. We're here.
Anything in your guys' personal worlds coming up? Any races, any big golf tournaments, anything happening over the next little while that you might be interested to share with people before we end off?
Oh, well, okay, I'm by no means a professional golfer, but yeah, it's Carl and I have this thing every Tuesday, you know, so
You're the one that dragged him to the golf course.
Every Tuesday we try and play.
Leave. What do you mean you're playing golf now? Are you joking?
Yeah, so
Tuesday, it's a hard problem.
Yeah, it's a little Tuesday thing that we have between the staff. We've got Josh as well. He's also great for support and super knowledgeable with the brand. So he's actually going to start with our Western Cape kind of handouts. And yeah, so it's mainly just
good at golf.
Carl's actually. It depends if he has back problems.
Oh.
Yeah. He's been dealing with
Get
this
off the
back
bike.
issue now for the past 3 months, apparently. So,
Do you guys have cement in your range that you can get through to? A little teaspoon of cement.
yeah, just to harden up.
Just
a
for
bit.
you, Carl.
Yeah. No. No, but it's what we focused on is just trying to have some quality decorum between the team. And I think once there's a nice little symmetry between the team, we can hand out a product with the exact same symmetry where it's family.
Got you.
Yeah.
Like that. Coach?
No, for me, it's been a busy start to the year. I mean, maybe I need to find my golf clubs. But no, I think being a build-up personally, just finished Comrades. So I think a lot of it was looking inside and now it's about looking at the athletes that I'm working with to go, what's next? 6 months left of the year, can't believe it. And sort of what races, and my attention now is going to be really working with those athletes to achieve those goals if they haven't already, or find that next goal that they can work on. And again, just bringing that community aspect back together. I think that for me is the biggest focus, is having people run, have a coffee afterwards, and just, make the most of Cape Winters.
What are some of the big runs coming up? There's NAS now? Is that a big one? I don't know.
Yeah, there's Cape Town Marathon in October. Then there's a lot of stuff on the trails. There's Otter Trail, there's UTCT. So it becomes a very busy sort of 6 months of the year. Once we get through winter, there's also Gun Run later on in the year. So lots happening in Cape Town.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can get both of you back here, but certainly you on any of those topics. Would be great to how to prep for Gun Run or any one of the others. Again, selfishly, but we'll say it's for the audience.
Well,
No, that's awesome, and we'll get your details as well if we can put that up just in case anyone has. Always we see coaching questions and inquiries, and I think that's another. It's one thing to say like get your nutrition done, but just speak to a coach.
Yeah,
work with a coach who can give you a plan that follows some sort of logic. And again, the Groks, the ChatGPTs, the Googles. It's like give me a 12-week program. I did for the half Ironman, and it was, again, having worked with Reese and known what quality coaching looks like and seen the benefit of it, to that, it's not like it isn't good enough.
And that's huge.
There is no similarity between those things. And
there's a lot of coaches online, and there's ChatGPT that can push out a 12-week program, but I think and that's what we focus on, it's that personal touch, it's that personal engagement, similar to 2 to 6s, is that if you've got a question, let's chat. I'm still learning as a coach, and I think all good coaches should still learn. You're learning along, exactly. And if you think you're better than the game, I think that's where you bump your head. And for me, it's just having that engagement and having that connect with my athletes to go, today's a tough run. I know I've got this session, where to from here? And I think having that connect with an athlete from nutrition, from coaching is what we're trying to achieve. And like I said, there's plenty of coaches online, and a lot of them are good. But it's that relationship that you build with an athlete that you want.
I cannot advocate for that. I think it's the biggest load of shit on earth. Like, I've had no great experiences with any complete digital-based coaching, virtual or otherwise. So we'll share those details as well. And have you got space for athletes? Before we put details out there, 'cause that could be the worst
happy
thing
to
in the
work with
world.
athletes. No, absolutely. And I try and keep it quite personalized. So it's, again, like I said, it's one-on-one focused. Comrades was a busy build-up, so a lot of athletes are taking time out now. And that's what's important. We can't run our runners, no pun intended, into the ground. So we've got some spaces opening up now for the second half of the year. But also happy to share a lot of different running communities out there to go, hey, I don't have space, but if you run with that running community, you really will benefit from it. And I think that's the benefit of what we do at TaylorMade Coaching, is just getting the right program or the right community for the runners to excel.
Good to know. We'll put those details up, and hopefully the inbox is ringing off the hook. Guys, I really appreciate your time. I've thoroughly
Thanks so
enjoyed
much.
this. Please, God, let's do more.
100%.
Any horrific tee shots from Carl, please just give me a video or something.
I've got a couple already, so
A really beautiful
Start off with
relationship
that.
built on antagonism.
that's perfect. Yeah, just a bit of
Much
back
never
and
compliment
Sure.
each other.
done, back and forth between the boys. I mean, yeah, say less.
Really appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming through.
Thanks for having us.
Spaces, yeah. Please feel free to come and use it for whatever you may need to.
Magic.
We'll do.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.